This episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics is brought to you by Our Lady of Lourdes Medical Center. Hi, I'm Marcel Johnson. Tonight on Inside Louisiana Athletics, it's a new year, and basketball kicks off with conference play. Our Darren Walker sits down with head coach Bob Marlin to discuss back-to-back home games against Texas State. And later, women's basketball also opened up conference play, and Gary Broadhead talks about splitting both games against the Bobcats of Texas State and San Marcos, and look ahead to the Trojans of Little Rock. But first, Louisiana football finishes the season 10-1. Head coach Billy Napier is here to recap the third straight bowl game appearance for the Ragin Cajuns, brought to you by Sonic. You're watching Inside Louisiana Athletics.
One more year! One more year! One more year!
Hello and welcome to Inside Louisiana Athletics. We hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. It certainly was for the Louisiana football team as they took the First Responders Bowl 31-24 over UTSA. Here now to talk about that and more is the head coach Billy Napier. So the last time you were on the show, we're prepping for Coastal Carolina in the conference championship. Of course, that didn't happen, but I think you got to really give credit to the players and the coaches too, to just put that behind them, focus on a new goal, and go over there and perform the way they did.
Sure, yeah, and I think it took a couple of days, you know. I mean, I think we needed to transition mentally. A lot of emotion went into that experience. So staff did a great job, you know, I think with their individual groups. I think Coach Hockey did a nice job. And then once we turned the page, I thought the work was really good. You know, we showed up, we were ready to compete. And certainly found a way to win.
Let's go ahead and talk about the First Responders Bowl for a little bit. You grabbed the early momentum with the opening drive of the game. Jalen Williams with a 15-yard touchdown catch to take a 7-0 lead. Kenny adds a field goal, and it's 10-0. Defense is playing lights out, basically pitching a shutout and doing well early.
Yeah, no, I thought we started fast. Certainly ready to play both sides of the ball. Made some really good plays on special teams early to set the tone. We were ready to play, and you know, you got to give UTSA some credit as the game went. They proved to be a scrappy group, and they've got some character on that team.
UTSA would score to make it 10-7, but the Cajuns answer just before the half. Kyron Lacey scores from 10 yards out to make it 17-7 at the half. Second play of the third quarter, UTSA fumbles. Farad Gardner is there to scoop it up at around the 2.5-yard line. Elijah Mitchell punches it in on the first play, and you have a commanding 24-7 lead in the third quarter, and you really couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half.
Yeah, no, it's always great to get a short field. Certainly miscue on their part with the snap, but we did execute a well thought out play there. To get Eli in the end zone, and now, you know, we're up 17.
Defense gets another stop, and offense is driving again in UTSA territory, and it just felt like we're about to start putting that nail in the coffin, but the fumble goes the Roadrunners' way, and it gave them just that little bit of a glimmer of hope that they needed. They wind up scoring on that drive to cut into the lead. They wind up scoring 10 more, and all of a sudden, you go into the fourth quarter, and it's a tie ball game at 24.
Yeah, no, I think huge play. You know, we talk about taking care of the ball, owning the ball, not giving the opponent a short field, and really a momentum play. You know, I think we're getting ready to put the thing at, you know, put it away, to give them the ball there at midfield, and then for them to turn that into points, and now all of a sudden you got a problem on your hands. So they've got a good football team, and certainly I thought they responded. You know, we gave them some hope, and they certainly took advantage of it.
Cajuns retake the lead on the ensuing drive, 12 plays, 72 yards, and you chew up over 6 minutes on the clock. Trey Regis from 3 yards out. The defense gets the stop that you needed, and the offense comes back on the field to run out the last 4.5 minutes. So when you had to have a score, you had to have a stop, and you had to have that, you know, time-killing drive, you got all three.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, I don't think we ever felt the game was out of control, right. But certainly a couple of good possessions by them. We had some miscues, gave them the ball back. All of a sudden it's a tie game, but then I think, like this team has done lots of times this year, we responded and made the critical plays in the critical moments.
Second year in a row, you hoist the trophy. Elijah Mitchell named MVP for 127 on the ground and a score 45 receiving yards. You did everything you could to avoid the green Powerade bath at the end of the game, but Big Sauce, Taylon Humphrey, was having none of it. He was holding you up for that one. It's one of those things where it's fun to watch, but my goodness, I would not want to be on the receiving end of that.
No, heck, it was, you got to love it. Those guys want to do that. It's a good thing. Certainly you're cold there for a little bit, but it is what it is.
An off season coming up for you, kind of unlike any other, and it's already started, to be honest. You have to juggle a lot of things coming up. You have a senior class that has the opportunity to come back, so that recruiting has kind of already started. You had the early signing day, which was on the 16th of December. You signed 10. You have more of that coming in February. The transfer portal is a constantly filling up with names. So how are you going to juggle all of this and try to put it all together?
Well, it's our job. I think we are fortunate that quite a few of these seniors are coming back. We do have a handful of others that we're trying to close the deal on, but these are good problems to have. I am excited about having some spots left over. We kind of anticipated some of these things, and we've got some scholarships left. So, we'll manage it as it comes. But I'm excited about the team we've got coming back, and certainly the ability to add a few more pieces to the puzzle. Got to give a lot of credit to our staff and our team this year. Lots of issues out there across college football with teams and players opting out. Teams decide not to play games, COVID issues. We had our fair share, but I think for the most part, to play 11 games, to win 10, to lose one by a last-minute field goal, I thought it was a heck of a year. So proud of this team and this group, and certainly excited about taking on the next challenge here as we get started in the offseason.
Yeah, let me fill in some of the gaps right there, because it's kind of led me into my next question. You talk about spring ball getting shut down, no summer workouts as a group, no OTAs, like you said, games getting canceled, COVID issues, the passing of DJ Looney, dodging hurricanes, guys opting out. To go ahead and put a season like this together, the success, the conference championship, to go win a bowl game. I mean, I know you've said it before, you couldn't be prouder of the way everybody responded and performed this year.
Yeah, and I think it was a good testament to the relationships that we've got with the players. I think the staff worked hard on that part, and it paid off this year. I think I just really feel for some of those coaches, maybe they were in year one, the problems that could have created. But I think having established what we have here from a trust standpoint, I think allowed us to have some success in a very difficult year.
Last question, kind of looking ahead already. I know the schedule is far from being finalized, but looking ahead, you got Texas, Ohio, Nichols, and Liberty, all of the non-conference games. 3 schools in the conference have already changed coaching staff. So what are you looking forward to, I guess, maybe thinking about having your whole spring, your whole summer again, and getting ready for that?
No, I'm excited. There's some new blood in the league. I think that presents some new challenges. Certainly new play callers, new coordinators, new ways of doing things. I think that, we're going to start over. We'll erase the board and hit the reset button. And, I know our guys will be back here January the 12th. We'll start with phase 1 and the foundation. So, I do think, it's a new year, new group of players. We're going to hire some new coaches. There'll be new people throughout the entire organization, and getting everybody on the same page. I think that's what's fun about it. I think it's part of the leadership challenge, and we look forward to it.
All right, Coach, congrats on a phenomenal season. We appreciate your time and insight all season long.
For Looney, man. This is for him. Rest in peace, my man. This is for you. Rest in peace.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Darren Walker sits down with head coach Bob Marlin to discuss Sun Belt games and a look ahead to a matchup against Little Rock.
This is the way chicken was meant to be right here. Fried and crispy.
Y'all never cooked us grilled chicken.
Nah, I didn't know what grilled chicken was till I probably got 30 years old. Sonic Chicken Slinger.
Some good chicken.
Santa's giving away employee pricing at Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette. Get a brand new GMC Sierra for $11,000 off the MSRP, or a Buick GX for only $18,988. Happy holidays from Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
Santa's giving away employee pricing at Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette. Like a 2020 Buick Enclave for $10,000 off MSRP, or a 2020 Buick Envision for $12,000 off MSRP. Happy holidays from Courtesy Buick GMC in Lafayette.
It's a Sun Belt Conference split for Louisiana's Ragin Cajuns on the opening weekend of Sun Belt Conference play. The Cajuns take an 83-77 overtime win over Texas State in the Friday night game. But Texas State comes back and takes a 71-59 victory in the Saturday afternoon second game of the Sun Belt doubleheader. I'm Dan McDonald along with Eric Mouton. And Eric, it was really two contrasting games in these two games. The Cajuns played very well in the second half in the Friday night game, not so well the second half on Saturday.
And pace of play in both games was huge. Last night, Louisiana played fast. They played the way they wanted to play. That's why they wound up scoring 83 points. Tonight, they did not have that pace of play. Texas State was able to slow them down. Louisiana only scores 59.
The Friday night game, Devin Butts came off the bench, made 6 big three-pointers for 22 points. Malik Wilson stuffed the stat sheet, ended up with 21. The Cajuns put 4 in double figures, and they shot 45% from the field. It was a contrast, though, the second game of the two games. Cajuns only had 2 in double figures. Malik Wilson, again, the leader with 14 points. Cedric Russell with 11. But not a lot of other scoring support, and the Cajuns really struggled from the field. They shot only 34% for the ballgame.
Yeah, and 28% from the three-point line. Didn't make enough threes. They also did go to the free throw line 17 times tonight and made all 17.
Cajuns shot free throws very well all weekend long, but couldn't get the offense going, and I think you have to give Texas State some credit for that because they came up with some lockdown defense and did some defensive changes, especially in the second half on Saturday.
They did. They jumped into a little half-court trap, jumped into a little zone, kept them off balance, and also on Saturday they out-rebounded the Ragin Cajuns 29-22.
You're not going to win a lot of games when you only get 22 rebounds unless you shoot it very, very well, and Louisiana was not able to do that in the Saturday game. So the Cajuns start out 1-1 in conference play, and they will again be at home next weekend. They will take on Little Rock in another Friday-Saturday doubleheader at the Cajun Dome. For Eric Mouton, I'm Dan McDonald. Back to you, Darren.
Thanks, guys, for that recap. Here now to give his take on the weekend split is the head coach, Bob Marlin. So let's go back to Friday night. It was really a kind of a hard-fought, physical game. You did not have Duguay, and you get the overtime win 83-77. You had to play extra minutes, which I'm sure you were thrilled to do on the first conference game of the weekend, especially since you had another game in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, we didn't want to play the extra 5 minutes, Darren, for sure, but that's the way the game played out. It was a hard-fought game, and we had control of the game late. Looked like we went up 3 with 17 seconds to go. It's too early to foul. We were concerned with Harrell. He's an 85% shooter. He's going to handle the ball for the most part. And we were trying to foul, and we let it go when it crossed half court, and then we had a defensive breakdown and let them kick out and make a three to put it in overtime. So we have to match up on the perimeter there. When the ball's interior, they score 2. There's 1 second to go. We probably win by 1. So
right.
Defensive breakdown, but yeah, we didn't want to play the extra 5.
There was a time, though, midway through the second quarter when you were down double digits in this game. Guys showed pretty good resiliency to erase that thing pretty quickly and take a lead.
Yeah, we have fought back and been resilient and played hard, and we do it with our defense. Our defense was really good on Friday night at times, and that's what helped us get stops and get out on the break and convert some easy baskets.
Malik Wilson's line, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 steals, 3 blocks. Great numbers that you come to expect from him pretty much on a nightly basis. But Devin Butts was the leading scorer on this night, 22 points. He was 6 of 12 from the three-point range. When this guy gets going, he's dangerous.
He's a really good shooter. He got hot, hit his first couple of good looks that he got. He knocked them in. He continued to shoot the ball well. Took one ill-advised one for a young guy in the overtime late with a minute something to go that we'd rather run some clock.
Right.
But Devin played really well, shot the ball, gives us energy, Darren, and was a big key in Friday night's win.
Game 2 on Saturday, the story in this one, red-hot shooting by the Bobcats. They shoot 75% in the second half, 60 for the game. And give them credit. They did make a few contested shots, but the defense is what was lacking in this one.
Yeah, we were tied at the half at 24. We come out the second half and just don't guard them. They scored 17 of their first 20 shots. We just did not defend, and it's amazing that we were within striking distance the way we covered them down the stretch. But missing Duguay, who's one of our best perimeter defenders, we think one of the best in the league and in the country, really hurt us because his matchup was Isaiah Small, who had a 11 for 15 game, a career high on Friday night, and then 8 for 9 on Saturday, which was another great game for him. But we just didn't guard the way we needed to, and they made shots. They've got an older team. They've played together. All those guys played together last year, and at this point in the year, they're a little bit ahead of some people.
You played a lot of guys in this one. I think in the first 10 minutes of the game, you had 10 players on the court. Talk about how you had to coach each one of these games because you're thinking on Friday night, well, what do I have to do to keep my guys fresh for tomorrow? And then the next day, what do I have to do to not, grind them into the ground?
Well, it's certainly a choice that you have to make. And when Dew was out of the game, we knew we were going to have some substitution at the 4. Jacoby Gordon, we thought Devin could play the 4 some. Chris Spinku could step in and play. But it did alter the rotation. And Cedric Russell stubbed his toe again in practice last week, his turf toe that he had against McNeese. He missed a day of practice. He wasn't 100%. Trying to rest him and Malik more, but at times feel like you just need him out there. But we do have a deep bench, and we're trying to go down next man up and looking for someone to come and perform. And we got that from Kentrell Garnett on Saturday for sure.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was getting ready to bring him up 7 points in 15 minutes. I mean, this guy's really pushing for some more PT.
Done a really good job. His biggest setback is that he's small, but he's quick. He understands. He really shoots the ball well. He's been a joy to coach, and he earned the opportunity to get some more minutes for sure.
Real quick, a huge early season doubleheader this weekend at the Cajun Dome. You're hosting Arkansas Little Rock. They were the preseason conference favorites. I mean, all of these games are big, but an early test for you guys here this weekend.
Yes, and we played them last year, the first conference game at home, and lost by 3 in a game we felt like we had under control. And then they turn around and come back and win the league. So we went up to Little Rock late in the season, got handed to us pretty good right before the conference tournament in a game that was tied at halftime. But they're a good basketball team. They're picked first in the league. They have the preseason player of the year. They have the second biggest vote getter and player of the year, and they have another all-conference player, Ben Coupe, who was a player of the week in the conference over the weekend. So very talented. It'll be a different type game. They're big, Darren. They'll try to pound it inside on us.
All right, Coach. Thanks, as always, for the time. 6 p.m. on Friday night, 4 p.m. Saturday afternoon at the Cajun Dome, and we'll have highlights and reaction next week on Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Coming up next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, Gary Broadhead is here to talk about their 2 games against Texas State and San Marcos.
Get the gift of employee pricing at Courtesy Chevrolet.
With prices like a 2020 Chevy Equinox for $19,988, or this new Chevy Trax for only $16,988. Happy holidays from Courtesy Chevrolet, Cadillac, and Broussard.
You are UL Lafayette's #1 priority. That's why we're following guidelines set by national and local health experts to protect you during the COVID-19 pandemic. The university is reorganizing rooms and spaces to reinforce social distancing, sanitizing campus buildings, and mandating that everyone wears protective equipment. But don't just take our word for it. Take a look for yourself at some of the many safety measures we're implementing, and you'll see that our priority is you.
Yeah, but this is a lot of food right here for $2.49.
You go to all these restaurants, $10, please.
$12,
$9, please. $12, please. All these crazy places. It's a no-brainer.
School is working out for you.
Sonic Chicken Slinger.
The health and safety of our students is our main concern. That is why the Office of University Housing and Residential Life has developed new protocols and procedures to strengthen our efforts to protect you during this pandemic. Housing staff is trained and ready to carry out safety protocols and guidelines set by local and national health authorities. All common areas will be cleaned and sanitized often, and no more than 2 residents will share a bedroom and bathroom. These are just a few of the safety measures we are implementing to ensure that our priority is you.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. We move now to women's basketball, where the Ragin Cajuns split a doubleheader with Texas State this weekend. Here now to talk about that is the head coach, Gary Broadhead. Coach, 2 completely different games on Friday and Saturday. Let's start with Friday. It was a tight game for most of the game, but the Bobcats created a little separation there late in the third quarter and into the fourth. And you really just couldn't recover from that, and you wound up losing that one by 8 points.
Yeah, in the third, they scored 24, and, they just kept pounding it inside, and we really didn't have an answer for it. So going into the fourth, we started pressing a little bit and started creating some turnovers. And, from my standpoint, we should have pressed earlier, and that's on me. I thought we should have, and that's kind of what we did the next day was we went to the press, and it kind of created them to play faster. So, you kind of learn from your mistakes, and we definitely did. But, I thought our kids played hard, and we had an opportunity when we were down by 6, shooting 2 free throws. We missed the free throws, and they come back and they kind of make a run again. So, I was kind of happy with the effort and all that. It's just the results wasn't quite there.
Right. On Saturday, you mentioned this. You really turned things up on the defensive end. You went to the press much earlier. You really smothered their offense. At the end of the first quarter, it was 21-11. And then a second quarter that I don't think you guys are going to forget anytime soon. You hold them to 2 points, and you have a 30-13 halftime lead. Just talk about the decision to, like you said, get on them a little bit early and create some turnovers.
When we got off the bus, we were pressing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we did. We just started. We had made up our mind as a staff that we were going to press, and the kids bought into it. And they were really effective we were able to rotate the right lineups and keep them from scoring. The second quarter was really good. I thought not only did the press, but our ability to stop the screen and roll and make sure that we were in help and made a lot of great decisions. So it was good to see that we learned from the night before and some of the things that we needed to do as coaches and as players and got better. So it was rewarding to see us hold them to 2 points. I mean, that doesn't really happen at Division I level that much.
No. Second half, it was more of the same. You really never took your foot off of the gas in this one. 22 Bobcat turnovers overall. You scored 27 points off of that.
Yeah, we pressed the whole game. It's just something that I think that's going to be our DNA, and it's something that we feel that could really, really help not only our defense, but it helps our offense because of those 27 points. And so we, even the last few possessions, we were still pressing, but it was a little bit softer press and just kind of controlling their offense and making sure that the ball went to where we could kind of cover out and keep control of it. So I was impressed with how we did that and how we were able to do it on a second night or the second game. So, hats off to our strength and conditioning coach, man. He did a good job of getting everybody in shape. And if this can continue, I think it could be a good thing for us.
Right. You shot 53% for the game. So like you said, that goes hand in hand. You get the good defense, you get the turnover, you get the easy buckets. Now that you've had time to kind of look back at the weekend, just assess how you guys did with that quick turnaround.
I thought, for coming back from not playing 10 days, after I went back and looked at the film of the first game, we were a little bit slow in reacting on the defensive side. And for us to go from one day to the next and pretty much same lineups in a way, but to be able to adjust to it and just to see us be more aggressive and being more aggressive toward the goal. And my assessment of this team is, hey, when our back's against the wall, that's when we kind of show up. We just need to get more consistent from the beginning, And that's kind of always been our DNA is we never quit. We've got a team that just will fight to the end, no matter what the score is, no matter how far down or how far up we are. They're an exciting group, and their chemistry within the group is really good. So I think that's just kind of part of what we are.
Right. Back on the road this weekend to take on Arkansas Little Rock. They gave UT Arlington some close games this weekend. Looks like it's going to be quite a battle up there this weekend.
Yeah, Joe Foley's been here the longest, probably 17 years in a conference, and he's got 800 and something wins, and he's just a phenomenal coach, and he doesn't change what he does. That's what I love about playing him. It's not going to be a chess match. I'm coming right at you with what I do, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come out with what we do, and so it's always a battle. I mean, it's not a great battle for the new fan of today that wants offense, because it's going to be a defensive battle, no doubt.
All right, Coach. Best of luck this weekend. Thanks, as always, for the time. Hopefully, you bottled up some of what you had on Saturday and you bring it up with you to Little Rock. Games at 6:30 on Friday and 2 p.m. on Saturday afternoon.
I feel like I'm the good kind of spicy. It means you got an edge. I got an edge.
It means you've got some umph, and I got some umph.
I don't know about your umph, but impatience doesn't equal spicy. Sonic chicken slinger.
Is it a good umph or a bad umph?
You are UL Lafayette's #1 priority. That's why we're following guidelines set by national and local health experts to protect you during the COVID-19 pandemic. University is reorganizing rooms and spaces to reinforce social distancing, sanitizing campus buildings, and mandating that everyone wears protective equipment. But don't take our word for it. Take a look for yourself at some of the many safety measures we're implementing, and you'll see that our priority is you.
Get the gift of employee pricing at Courtesy Chevrolet.
All new Chevy Silverado 1500s are $12,000 off MSRP. Or take home a 2020 Chevy Equinox for $19,988. Happy holidays from Courtesy Chevrolet, Cadillac, and Broussard.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Inside Louisiana Athletics. I'm Marcel Johnson. See you next week.